All right, all right, all right. It is 11:11, more or less, give or take a minute. And happy Saturday. I think it is. I had to think about it. Pretty sure it's Saturday. As usual, I'm here to check in with my own body, do a little stretching and strengthening, and invite you to join me to whatever degree feels good to you. I encourage you to move one way or another, whether you follow along or do your own thing. Check out some deep breaths. Check them in and then check them out. Shake off the stresses of today and of yesterday. Make room for those new stresses. I think I heard that we finally got a new president. That's kind of exciting. Pretty exciting. So, there's that. And aside from that, well, it's another beautiful day outside. It's looking like it might try to rain, which means for me, I've got a lot of stuff to do. But before I do, I'm going to take just a couple breaths, bring my attention into the bottoms of my feet, root myself into the center of the earth, hang myself from the center of the universe. And let's do a little rolling down, checking in with the spine this morning, past the waist, all the way to the hips. Just letting the spine hang from the hips for a breath or so. I like to jiggle the legs sometimes, get those to relax. I'm going to give myself a hug, pulling up with the abdomen, up with the pelvic floor, left elbow over right, bending from the waist now, rounding the spine, giving the shoulders a little squeeze, pulling the shoulder blades apart, and then releasing all that back to the hips. Just hanging again from the hips. And then pulling up again this time, right elbow over left, pulling up in the pelvic floor, back in the abdomen, rolling the spine through the waist, tucking the chin. Giving a nice squeeze to the shoulders. A little congested this morning. And releasing all that again from the hips. Just shake out the neck, shake out the spine. Letting gravity do some unwinding. I'm going to push up through the feet, bend the knees, roll the hands back. Come into a little bit of a counter stretch, bringing the eyes up, pushing the hips forward. And back to central, neutral, upright, whatever it's called. I'm going to bring arms behind the back, pressing palms, rolling shoulder blades together, rolling elbows together, and with a relatively flat back, bending from the hips again. Coming on over, bringing the hands with me. And just doing a little bit of stretching, a little massaging with the shoulder blades back there. I'm going to come tilting to the left, looking to the right. Tilting to the right, looking to the left. And let's do some active and passive. So passively just leaving the hands clasped, relaxing the arms. Letting gravity do some unwinding, and then actively pulling with the muscles, pulling shoulder blades together, pulling elbows together, pressing palms. And then passively stretching, just letting gravity do the work, relaxing the arms, relaxing the belly, just hanging. And then one more time, actively stretching through the chest by pulling the shoulder blades together, pulling the palms together, pulling the elbows towards each other. Definitely stiff this morning. And again, passively stretching. Letting all that go, just leaving the hands gently clasped. I'm going to bend the elbows and bring the hands down. Give a nice check with the lower back. Give the low back a little love, a little rub. Come down the backs of the legs, checking in with the hamstrings and the backs of the knees, backs of the calves, backs of ankles, and around the front. Say hello to the toes and the boots. Up the front, checking in with the ankles. I'm going to roll up slowly as I check in with the front of the body. Kneecaps, and thighs, and pelvis. And let's give a little drum check. Check in with all the organs. Check in with the chest. Let's do some smoothing down the arms. Shake that out, rub the palms together, and do some smoothing of the face and back down the hair, shaking that out. Just gathering up all the stress and then releasing it back to the universe to be recycled. More time, up the face and down the back of the head. Do some tapping on the arms. Got a lot of inflammation and congestion today. Like to knock that loose a little bit. Coming past the shoulders, elbows, and wrists. And then on the other side, shoulder, elbow, and wrist. This is just a nice way to dislodge stagnant energy, release excess energy, smooth out the energy in the body. Bring it all together. Pretty puffy in the hands today and all around, but that's okay. Do just a little swinging the arms side to side. Getting a little twisting through the spine. Coming back to neutral. I'm going to step back with the left foot, pressing that back heel, tipping the tailbone under, relaxing the shoulders, pulling that back hip forward, forward hip back, looking for a perpendicular line with the hips and parallel lines with the feet. Let's bring arms up overhead, making sure not to crunch up in the shoulders. And I'm going to twist to the outside plane today. Just checking out that outside edge, closing the hips even more. I'm going to eke this back heel back a little bit and come down from the hips. Putting the left arm inside the right leg and gazing up past the right fingertips for a twisting side triangle. Let's bring this arm around to reach for that opposite hip for an extra little squeeze of the internal organs, gazing out past that back heel. And then unwinding all of that, I'm going to bring the right hand on the outside of the right foot, straightening that leg, forward folding over that leg. Just trying to let the body kind of drip or drape over that leg, and then I'm going to bring the weight onto my hands, bring this front foot back to meet the back foot, and pressing through the palms, through the spine, tipping the tailbone toward the back of the head, pressing the heels into the floor. Let's do a little extra pushing on the left, bending the right knee. Bending the left knee, pushing into the right, and pushing into the left again, pushing into the right, and then pushing into both, tipping the tailbone toward the back of the head, and then I'm going to swing the body forward, bringing the chest through the shoulders, keeping those legs pressed chest together to protect the low back, letting the belly just drop and lifting up through the shoulders and chest, gazing up with the eyes, and then lifting those hips, pressing back again through the palms, through the spine, tipping the tailbone toward the back of the head. And let's swing this left foot forward in between the hands for a nice deep lunge. I like to do a little bounce there. Feels good to me. You bounce if you like bouncing, or don't bounce if you don't like bouncing. I'm going to step forward with that back foot into a forward fold and just hang here again from the hips. And then bending the knees, swinging the arms back, coming into a counter stretch, pushing the hips forward, gazing up with the eyes, coming back to neutral, and then stepping back with the right foot into a nice moderate lunge, pulling that back hip forward, forward hip back, tipping the tailbone under, pressing that back heel into the earth. Bring arms up overhead, making sure not to crunch up in the shoulders. Don't forget to breathe and smile. Whatever else you're into today, I'm going to turn to the outside edge, closing the hips even more. Looking for the side plane outside the body. And then I'm going to squeak that back foot back on the toe, bringing this right hand down on the inside of the left foot and bringing the left fingers up for a nice twisting side triangle. Letting the spine do a little crackling and popping and snapping there. I'm going to bring this hand around to reach for this opposite hip and bring my gaze down past that back heel, giving the organs a nice squeeze from the inside. And unwinding all of that, bringing this hand on the outside of that left leg, straightening the leg and draping the body over that leg for a nice stretch there, aiming the chin for the toes to elongate the spine, or aiming the forehead for the knee. I like to kind of alternate those. I'm going to bring my weight onto my hands and bring that foot back to meet the back foot. Pressing again into downward facing dog or upside down triangle, tent position. Tipping the tailbone toward the back of the head. Pressing into the heels. Let's come into a plank position and do a slow push-up. Bringing the hands under shoulders, keeping the elbows in tight to the body, keeping the legs together. Coming down nice and slow. Pausing here for a breath or so. And then pushing back up. Lift those hips. Pressing back again into the heels. Tipping the tailbone toward the back of the head. And swinging that right foot forward in between the hands for another nice deep lunge on the other side. Again, I add a little bounce. I'm going to step forward with the back foot to meet the front foot, and hang here again from the hips. Really just letting the spine unwind, shaking out the neck, and bending the knees, swinging the arms back. Coming into that counter stretch again, pushing the hips forward, bringing the eyes up, coming back to neutral. I'm going to do a little balancing, bringing my weight onto the right, bringing this left knee up toward left shoulder. Let's do a little ankle rotation for good measure. One way and then the other way. Let's do medium circles from the knee. circles with the hip, or from the hip with the leg. Just checking in with the range of motion, with the whole body, with the big, medium, and small circles. And the other way, try not to counter lean, but if need be, you might want to do this near a wall or a doorway, or even laying down. Setting that down. Bring my weight onto the left and bring the right knee up toward right shoulder. Let's do a little circling on this side. One direction and the other direction. And then medium circles from the knee. I like to use my hands for support, moral support of the leg. Still trying to stay nice and long and strong through that supporting side. Not counter lean too much as I make it into big circles from the hip. Relaxing that supporting foot, and the other way. Setting that down, shaking it all off some more. I think I'm gonna get to my inversions and minimum any reps, and wish you a peaceful, productive, playful Saturday, whatever kind of day you want to make it. Deborah Kuick, good to see you. Hope you're remembering to take care of you, because you are worth it. You, above everyone else, deserve your own unconditional love, always and always. So I hope you're remembering to give yourself that. Thanks for stopping by. Peace.